Hi there, my name is Cameron Simmons. I'm an applications engineer here at Berkeley Nucleonics, and today I'm going to do a little video about one of our lesser known products, the PVX-2506. It's actually kind of a hybrid voltage current pulsar, referred to as a precision voltage pulsar, and it's got a lot of cool features that may help your application, and we're going to show those off. So enjoy. So the PVX-2506 is what we refer to as a precision pulse generator. Because we tune the overshoot and undershoot so that it never exceeds the pulse top and bottom voltage. And this can be really good for semiconductor material testing because you know your material is never exposed to a voltage higher than required for your testing. Get really good data. The unit can actually do 50 volts at 10 amps, which is extremely high for a voltage pulsar of this type. Can really test a lot of high voltage and high current semiconductor materials this way. Another great feature is actually it accepts a high voltage power supply and a lower voltage power supply so that you can actually float it up to 10 volts. And again, this can be really good if that's the voltages that you want to test it at, or if you just want a less noisy signal moving above ground like that. We'll take out some of the noise and help you get cleaner data. So here I'll show you the cable that's included with the 2506. As you can see, it's a nice heavy duty connector with gold pads, very low inductance. Same thing with this cable. It can take a lot of voltage, but it's also very low inductance, so you're not going to get any added overshoot, no ringing. Overall, very, very good cable for this application. Here's kind of an interesting feature about the 2506. It has sort of a utility section here that will kind of help you invert and copy your trigger signal. So you can take one trigger in from your source and you can instead put it in the RF logic input, and then as you can see you'll get a TTL copy of that signal and an inverted TTL version of this signal. And this will trigger off RF as well. So you can put a sinusoidal waveform in and it will create a square trigger signal. And then say you wanted to trigger your oscilloscope to this one to see other aspects of the signal, and then you could take the inverted RF out and then have that be your actual trigger signal for the unit itself, for the output. And then you can switch those two around. Basically just makes testing and collecting data easier without having to have an external box that does this. Here we can see the output of the voltage pulsar on the oscilloscope. It's a nice clean 30 volt pulse going into our 5 ohm load. See no aberrations, no overshoots, very square pulse, low noise as well. Then we'll go ahead and zoom in on the rising edge and you can see the overshoot tuning at work. So you can see by the cursor there that it's right on the pulse top. The time scale is about 25 nanoseconds, so there is probably about 10 to 20 nanoseconds of oscillation on the rising edge to get that nice fast rising edge. But you can see that the top never exceeds the actual pulse top. So it's really a finely tuned rising edge and falling edge. So you can see with the falling edge it's the same thing, never exceeds ground. So get some very good clean data with this. So the output of the 2506 is floating, and it actually has 2 voltage inputs. And the good thing about that is you can bias it up to reject noise, or just if that's the voltage that your experiment calls for. So here I'm about 30 volts to ground, and I'm going to engage the second power supply and bias it up about 10 volts. And that looks like here.